I have a lot of things to be thankful for this year, the latest of which is a puzzle I can't wait to share with you today. It is a next in the line of hidden horror scratch-off puzzles by Twisted Puzzles. If you remember in the past, I've already done 3 of these with you. I had an absolute blast doing them. I love them because it mixes my favorite thing about puzzles, blind puzzles. It's got a hidden section, you don't know what it looks like, and horror. It incorporates a scary sort of element. So like I said, we've done 3 of them already. One was Unwelcome Guests. This one Stood Up, and then we also did Road Trip. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you which of these I preferred and how this one's going to rank within that lineup. But I think there are actually maybe 3 more of these online. I got this one just because we are right here at Thanksgiving. I have about a week to get this puzzle put together and share it with you here before Thanksgiving. So I got to race against the clock, which, you know, I like to do. If the past is any indication, this might take me about 15 hours to do. So maybe I'll get it done in a week just in time for Thanksgiving, because I don't like to look at the box. I like to do these things blind. I mean, I can kind of see that it's about turkeys, but I don't want to look too closely. It makes it more fun for me, I think. But like I said, I really like the stories that are involved here. And let me read you the story for this one, which says, Turkey Feast. In the warm glow of a crackling fireplace, the Gobelson family gathered around the Thanksgiving table. Laughter and chatter filled the air as Grandma shared tales of her latest knitting project, while Grandpa entertained everyone with comical stories from his youth. It was a wonderful year, and they had so much to be thankful for. Yet the highlight of the night was the much-anticipated main course. They could hardly contain their excitement. The moment had arrived, and they were all eager to dip their beaks and tear into the delicious feast that helplessly squirmed at the center of the table. I think we all know where this is going, but we won't know for sure until we put the puzzle together. Like I said, there is a hidden section that they don't show you on the box, and the boxes, if the past is any indication, does kind of use some clever splatter effects and whatnot to help disguise all of the twists and turns in the story, although I don't think this one's going to be that hard to figure out. So let's go ahead and open this box and take a look inside. Inside the box, we have a package of pieces. Now we can see there are red pieces. Those are the ones we're going to want to pull out without looking at them, because these are the hidden horror pieces. There is also inside the image of what it's going to look like, but we're not going to take a look at that just yet. Let's be surprised. First thing I want to do is pull out all of the red pieces, and I do tend to pull out all of the partial red pieces as well. It just makes it a little bit easier because I only have so much space with a 1,000-piece puzzle to sort all of these pieces. So the more pieces I can pull out to do in the second phase, the easier it's going to be. I also find I like to sort them upside down first. It just makes it easier to identify the shapes of the puzzle. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out all of the different shapes and the edge pieces and get all these pieces sorted. It's taken me about half an hour to sort out the red-backed pieces, and I have found that almost all of the pieces in this puzzle are this double-ended type, which surprises me because the other puzzles had quite the variety of pieces, but not this one. I think it's going to be more challenging. After 1 hour, I have the pieces sorted, and I am not optimistic. It looks like most of them are very dark without a lot of distinctive patterns. I have started working on the border itself, and it seems like it's going to be a lot of trial and error, again, with all of these non-distinct pattern pieces. And here we have the border completed, or do we? Look, here we have 4 pieces that don't fit. That's because we have some false fit situations where the pieces look and feel like they connect, but there's a slight variation and they don't actually fit. 2 hours in though, and I have figured it out. I did actually have to rotate the entire border as well. I had it upside down, and I could tell that by the salad pieces that are starting to come together. It looks like we have a creepy eyeball here. Let's see what that could possibly go to. I think we might know though. And here, another hour in, and you can see that the eyeball belonged to one of those turkeys. Looks like we've got a number of them in portraits and in real life. And this was the easy part because these are the colorful pieces of the puzzle. The rest of it is going to be a little bit more challenging. Another hour in, and we've made little progress. We can start to see a chandelier taking shape at the top of the puzzle. There's also a strange white line coming down the right side. There seems to be a lot of white flares going on in this puzzle, which is a little strange, but at least it helps us put the pieces together. A little more progress here. You can see the salad bowls at the bottom starting to take shape. Look at the turkey there. It looks like he's holding the glasses of wine. That's kind of cute. Over here we've got a tablecloth. At least the pattern of that's going to help us put that together. Looks like we also have a pattern taking shape in what appears to be maybe a china cabinet in the upper right corner. At least it was kind of easy to pick out the pieces with those straight lines. That gave me a little bit of a break from some of this other pattern that's making me nervous. Because here, yet an hour later, and we haven't made a whole lot of progress, filled in a little bit more of the china cabinet, a little bit more of just the plain green patterns. It does help that there's at least some light green and dark green to help me pick out the appropriate pieces from the box. Here we go, filled in a little bit more. We've got the turkey feathers starting to take shape behind them. Again, the weird lens flare and sort of grittiness at least helps me pick out those pieces. And we finished the portrait of the turkey in the corner. But other than that, it is taking a little bit more time to put the puzzle together at this point, just because the pieces are so dark and hard to differentiate. And we are 10 hours in. We are almost completed. It really wasn't that bad. One nice thing, at least, was that the turkeys each seemed to have a slightly different shade of feather color. So even though the pattern wasn't that distinct, I could pull out the various colors and kind of sort it that way. And here at the 11-hour mark, we have the completed-ish puzzle, minus the hidden horror section. We have our 5 turkeys ready to feast on whatever is in the center of that table. It is very similar to the box, the only difference being we do have some blood splatter that is showing in this area, although you can see on the box there's a little bit more visible of some plates and things on the tops and the sides. Not a huge deal. You also don't see on the box this turkey on the end. But as we can tell, it is a turkey scene. Obviously, they're at a table waiting to devour something. Gosh, I wonder what it could be in this hidden horror section. One thing to note, so this is about it is 179 pieces. There is this one errant piece here that did not have any sort of red indicators on the back, like it should have if it was, blocking off this whole section. So it seems weird. When I was counting the pieces just to make sure, or just to see how many were going to be off on the side before I started the puzzle, I came up with that 179, and I thought something was wrong because you'd think it would be 180, but that one weird piece for some reason doesn't have red. Not a big deal. I think, though, it is time to start putting the hidden horror section together, so let's get to it. This time it only took me about 10 minutes to get the pieces sorted. There is a wider variety of colors in this one. It's a little bit more bright, and there is a more equal ratio of different piece shapes. And here we are putting the final 2 into the puzzle. Were you able to guess what it was? The apple is certainly a nice touch. And here we have our completed puzzle, as we all kind of expected. It was a human here at the dinner table for the turkeys. And if you weren't sure how it was going to turn out and you needed some extra assistance, if it's not your thing to do the blind puzzles like I like to do, you can scratch off on this solution sheet to see what the final design was to help you in putting it together. But I didn't need that. I thought this was actually an interesting puzzle to put together. It wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought. So altogether, it took me about 12 and a half hours. And I was only disappointed in a couple of different aspects. There were a few trial and error problems where there were some false fits. But overall, there wasn't too much just tedious trial and error because there was enough differentiation in all of the design within the puzzle. Few things that bothered me a little bit is like they have these random bits of like static looking portions of the image. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but it did help me put it together easier, so I'm not going to complain about that. I really like the face of the guy here. He's very prominent in the the whole image. And I think it's kind of just, it's a fun image. I especially love how the turkeys themselves are like holding the utensils with their little hands. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. In fact, I'm going to rank it pretty high. So it's not my favorite of the twisted puzzles to put together. I think so far, first place has got to go with Unwelcome Guests. It was a little difficult to put together, but I really liked the hidden horror section. It was quite large and very interesting, much like this one, which is why I think I'll put it in second place. So it was, again, a good puzzle. Third place would probably go with our Stood Up, which was kind of a zombie-themed storefront. The reason I ranked this one a little bit low is because the hidden horror image just was very tiny. Like there's a big section to put together, but the actual horror part was so small. And then my least favorite is Road Trip, because that one was just very hard to put together. All the pieces did not have a lot of differentiation, and because the artwork is kind of muddled, it just made it difficult. So if you're looking for recommendations, that's my order so far, but there are at least 3 more, I think, of the twisted puzzles. I just placed my order for the next one, which is a Halloween-themed one, so I'm not sure how I missed that, but we're going to put together that pretty soon. But we've got other projects to show you along the way. Before we go, I did want to say a special thank you to the patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in joining my Fright Club, be sure to check out a link to my Patreon page in the description below. That's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time, take care, and happy Thanksgiving.